Good afternoon and welcome to today's presentation of BLACKbox OneCloud. I am Prasanna, co-host of the event today. Let me introduce today's presenter, Mr. Vishal Shah, CEO and co-founder of Synosoft Technologies. He has over 18 years of experience and expertise of IT industry. He is known as seasoned technology stalwart, an inventor of specific patented technologies, a writer, a serial entrepreneur, an investor, and importantly, a go-to guy for MSME. We also have Mr. Sudhir Chaubey, co-founder of Synosoft in the panel. He looks after the commercial aspect of our organization. We at Synosoft are proud to introduce you to our new product, BLACKbox OneCloud. Mr. Vishal will explain how BLACKbox OneCloud overcomes the challenges of adopting cloud computing with perspective of MSMEs. He will narrate the uniqueness of BLACKbox OneCloud by its one agent, one service concept. Entire product will be demonstrated on the live interactive session. If you have any questions while you watch this demonstration, kindly write in the question and answer tab in the bottom of your Zoom login. The panel will take up the questions at the end of the session. Alternatively, in case you want to ask any question in the end of the session, you may please raise your hand and we shall activate your microphone to ask the question. Vishal sir, can you please take it ahead from here?
Yeah, good afternoon all. Happy meeting you again. I know it's a festive season and everybody are enjoying it. Thanks for attending this session. So today we are going to continue the last session. On 15th July we launched BLACKbox OneCloud, and we explained very strategic things about BLACKbox OneCloud, and we also explained how an MSME can benefit from OneCloud. So that was more of a benefit type of demonstration. Today we will have a different perspective to that, and today we are going to have complete technical demonstration of BLACKbox OneCloud. It is our new product, and we have tried to match it with our existing product interface so that those who want to migrate their black boxes to the cloud, or those who have already mastered the black box on-premise interface and its configurations, they don't have to go through the learning curve again. So this is all exactly same as our on-premise solution, but it is different technically. It is different on the development part also. So today I'm going to demonstrate BLACKbox OneCloud. We call it as one agent, one service, and one cloud. So before we start the demonstration, I would request Prasanna to launch the poll. I would request all of you to participate in the poll. It will help us understand your profiles, and it will help me kind of apply and adapt this entire demonstration for your better understanding. So as we see the poll results, it suggests that 12% of the people are either owners or custodian of enterprise data. 71% of the attendees are IT professionals managing IT infrastructure, and 18% represent system integrator or IT consultant profile. So yeah, this is definitely a technical presentation. So we were expecting more of IT professionals who know IT very well. So almost 89% of the 88% of the attendees are technically sound. Of course, I will explain things in layman language also to help the owners to understand that. but I would make sure that it is a balance between technical explanation and more simpler explanation. So let us start with understanding that what is something that is you know behind this. So let me give you a brief on Sinnersoft. Sinnersoft is founded in 2008. We are in 15th year of our business. We are seed funded by Government of India. We are incubated by CII, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. We have bagged many prestigious awards, recognitions. It was about recently we were listed as top 100 MSMEs of India. Before that, we were part of Tech Exchange cohort to UK, and before that, we had bagged a gold medal from Government of India on our proprietary technology development. And beyond that, there are so many other awards which are listed on our website. We own numerous patents which are powering our products. It is a very time-tested, proven technology. BLACKbox is around in the industry for almost 10 years, and there are many customers who have completed 10 years of BLACKbox adoption. Almost 10,000 plus MSME deployments are already there, and mostly they are in India. We have some presence in UK, US, and UAE also. 90% of the plus is the retention rate, means those who have adopted BLACKbox, 90% of them or more have always continued with the BLACKbox. So our subscription renewal rate is very, very high. Now let us understand what kind of IT on cloud functions every enterprise would require. So before I demonstrate the product, BLACKbox OneCloud, I would like to, explain that what kind of functions are required by any organization when any organization wants to take its business on cloud. So ideally, as an IT strategist, you would focus on three things. First is about data preservation. Like, you would like to make sure that your data is not lost because of whatever deletion, ransomware, or disaster, or hardware failure, because data loss relates to business continuity. And as an IT strategy, your customer or your organization expects that you will have a very good business continuity plan. Another aspect any IT strategist would look at would be the competitive aspect, or would be data leakage prevention aspect. The organization you serve would be having a lot of IPR. They would have signed in non-disclosure agreements with their customers, and they make sure that their data or IPR or very sensitive business information, which is in digital form, should not be in wrong hands and should not be exploited competitively. So that is another aspect every IT strategist look at. And third is about standardization of the IT infrastructure. Every IT strategist would like to standardize the IT infrastructure. Means any large corporate would have certain very essential components of IT either on cloud or on premise. So it would be every IT strategist's objective to achieve, that the standardization of IT has to be there. So given these three perspectives to IT strategy and deployment, we would divide them in different functional requirements. So we will list those functional requirements, and according to me, if we want to take our business on cloud, we should have these functions at our disposal. So we'll start with that. So the first thing is we need enterprise-wide cloud workspace. When we talk about Google Drive, which gives, let's say, 30 GB per user or 2 terabyte per user, it's a very per user kind of offering. Most of the organizations or most of the cloud service providers give two types of offering. One, this kind of offering where per user per year kind of cloud storage is there, and the other would be enterprise wide. So when you are planning the cloud adoption at an enterprise level, you need enterprise-wide cloud workspace. It should not be like per user per year kind of. Per user per year is a very consumer-oriented offer. So the function would be you should have a cloud storage of entire organization's requirement, and that should be enterprise-wide. So let's say as an enterprise, if you require 32 terabyte of the space, you should not have 2 terabyte per user, but you should have 32 terabyte on which enterprise can save all its data, give permissions to different users from different departments or different job profiles to access that data. And as an enterprise, entire data is available from anywhere, as well as on specific devices, as well as it is available for collaboration. Another desired function is automatic data backup and data recovery after ransomware attack. When you move to the cloud, your expectations would be that your data backup should happen automatically, and it should be maintained in versions, so that tomorrow, if any of your systems are affected by ransomware, you can always take out the older version of your data and continue your business with minimum data loss. So this is another desired feature. The third desired feature is data recovery after disaster or asset loss. So you would also like to recover the data after, let's say, something happened to your computer, maybe in hardware or maybe because of some disaster. So that would be another function you would require so that you can maintain your business continuity. Then you would also like to have IT policy, and you would also like to enforce that IT policy, and that could be by device hardening. What I mean by IT policy, see, every enterprise users have different jobs to perform. Users represent different departments, so they have different type of requirement of the data. So right from what data can be accessed by which user, to whether USB would be accessed by that user or not, or maybe which applications that user would be accessing, maybe Word, Excel, and Tally only, or maybe AutoCAD and Word, Excel, or whatever. Or maybe that user will access the data remotely or not, or this user is entitled for VPN or not. So all these policies are decided for every user, and enterprise should be able to seamlessly enforce those policies by hardening the devices of the users, so that users have access to whatever data is given to them as accessible, or users can access certain applications only. Users cannot be admin of the system like that. So this is a desired feature which normally we want in our IT systems. Then we should be able to recover the data after accidental or intentional deletion. Sometimes we have to allow users to work on the data with full rights, and if they delete it, we should be able to recover the data. So this is another desired function. Then we should have email control on the email system also, because email communication can be misused to steal the data or leak the data from the organization. So email backup, vigilance, and policies have to be in place. This is a desired feature. Then there should be zero trust internet access control. Like, internet can be a resource, as well as internet can be a source of time pass or avenue for leaking or stealing the data from the organization. So every enterprise, when they move on cloud, every user has to be on internet. So when you allow every user to be on internet, you would like to control the activities or usage on the internet, and that would be by some strategy. It could be intuitive strategy, or it could be zero trust strategy, but whatever it is, you need to have a function where you can control users' internet access and usage. Then you might want dual profiling, like your user might be using his own computer to access your applications and data, and you don't want to invest in different or separate device for the user, and you want user to use his own system. Then user is using it for two purposes. One is personal, another is work. So you would like to have dual profiling. So in work, you want more policies to be applied, and in personal, you want more freedom to be given to the user without compromising with the data integrity of the enterprise. Then you have a remote application access. You would like to allow your legacy applications to be used by the users. And that's how you would like to make sure that your cloud infrastructure should facilitate that also. Then you would like to have productivity monitoring tools so that when users are working on cloud, they are working remotely. You would be interested in knowing whether they are productive or not, what they are doing. So you would require certain functions. So these are the list of 10 functions, which as an IT strategist, you would desire that it would be there in your cloud systems. So what Blackbox does is it achieves all these things. It achieves all these things as a single agent. So now, having understood all these functions, we know that to achieve all these functions, we have some or the other product available in the market. And most of us would know that for automatic data backup, what kind of product would be there, for remote access, what kind of solution would be there. So we will just go through a poll where we'll understand what is your selection or preference of a tool or a solution to achieve certain functional objective. So these are the 10 functional objectives, and we'll run the poll and we'll understand how what is your preference and why it is. So I request all of you to please participate in this poll. Yeah, Prasanna, can you launch the next poll, please? It's a bit long poll, almost 8 questions. I request you to answer all those questions. Prasanna, please continue this poll for at least 2 minutes because everybody would require time to give the answer.
Yes, sir.
Prasanna, time required is more. So please continue with this poll. Don't stop it. I think people are still going through it. Please continue this poll for a few more seconds. Let it be by 4 minutes. So as we see the results, if we talk about pool storage space for the enterprise, 69% of the people are using Google Drive, then 31% are using OneDrive, 6% are using Dropbox, and 63% of the people are using on-premise file server accessible on static IP. So this is not a cloud deployment, but yes, over your static IP, it's your private cloud, good to know about it. Now, that what does it mean that 69% of the people, if they're using Google Drive, they will have Google agent or OneDrive agent installed on their computer or Dropbox agent installed on their computer. Then second is which subscriptions you have to take version backups users computer. So 25% of the people are using Druva, 31% Acronis, 13% Symantec, and 44% are using AWS S3. So again, you are installing another agent on user system to get this done. So on one more agent, it could be Druva, Acronis, Symantec, whatever. Then how do you harden users computer system? So 88% of the people are using Active Directory, 25% of the people are doing it AD on Azure, and 44% of the people are using endpoint protector. So again, one more agent is installed or the system is taken in domain in order to achieve this functional objective. Then, how do you apply the email policies? So, or make sure that email is not misused for data leakage. Then there is a Symantec DLP. Some people use Securite DLP, 19%. Then 19% people use intermediate mail distribution server. And 69% of the people use email delivery rules on the email host. Like if this email is addressed to so and so user, it should be copied, and the such rules basically. Then how do you control the remote users internet access? So 44% of the people are using DLP agent, 50% of the people are using antivirus, 13% of the people they do not control, and 31% of the people are using device hardening and VPN. So again, one more agent is installed here. Then how do you harden your users' computers, own computers on BYOD basis? So 6% say that asking them to follow the moral values. Please don't do this, please do this, whatever. 63% of the people say that we ask them to save enterprise data in one folder and then they map that folder with the backup system. 25% of the people convince their users to install DLP on their personal computer, and 19% of the people they cannot install DLP because user wants to use personal, and that is also he would not like to give up. Again, if you want to achieve this functional objective, one more agent is installed. Then how do you allow application access like ERP, Tally, CRM to remote users? So most of the people, 81% of people are doing it over VPN. That means you have a VPN client on your systems. Then 31% of the people, they do it on remote desktop, 6% on TeamViewer or AnyDesk, and 6% on Citrix. Citrix is very expensive. So yes, it is likely that very few people would be using it. Then how do you monitor the computer usage of remote users? So 6% are Netscope, 13% are screen capture agent. Again, you need an agent for this. 44% require use VNC. So again, an agent for that. And sometimes, and 69% of the people do not have a solution. So manually they analyze the event log. So when we want to achieve so many functions which are essential, and we cannot really compromise on these functional objectives, we need to make sure that we install so many agents on the computer system. We install so many agents and we subscribe to respective cloud services. That is how right now we are taking our businesses on the cloud. So BLACKbox OneCloud is basically an answer to this. It makes it very convenient, it makes it very simple, and of course it makes it very cost effective, because you don't have to pay for so many agents, you don't have to pay for so many cloud services, you just have to pay for one agent and one agent license and one cloud service. We will see how. So when we talk about BLACKbox OneCloud, it is one agent, one service, and one cloud. So all these functional objectives can be achieved by single agent, single service, and single cloud. So first, BLACKbox provides you an agent, and that agent is a device hardening agent for forced data centralization. It is also an automatic backup agent. It is also a remote application access agent. It is also a VPN client agent, and it is also an endpoint control agent. Then what is on the other side? It's one cloud service only. So you have device hardening policy server to serve your device hardening agent. You have VPN server to serve your VPN agent. You have a file server to serve your users with all permission engine. You have mail vigilance server on the same on the side. You don't have to really subscribe to various systems. You also have an endpoint control server which manages the endpoint control agent, and you also have a proxy server for your internet control on the users. And one cloud storage means you have only one cloud. That 32 terabyte, you can use it for your files, for your applications, for your emails, for your backup of your files, for backup of your emails, for backup of your applications, whatever way. It is not per user, per year kind of. So you can share files, you can set permissions on the file, and that data can be backed up. That email data can also be backed up. So you have one cloud, one console, and one agent. So this serves the purpose, as I have explained, that it makes a lot of sense when you have only one cloud and you have only one service to subscribe. So now we will see all these features one by one. We'll see all these features one by one. So now I request Prasanna to launch the third poll, so that at least I get a feedback on what our attendees think about, installing multiple cloud agents and subscribing to multiple cloud services. How does it appeal them if there is only one agent, one cloud service, and one cloud space? So as we see on the screen, 86% of the people find value in this. 14% of the people have their opinion that subscribing to multiple agents and multiple cloud services makes more sense. So now we will see how BLACKbox helps you achieve these functional objectives, and we'll see it on the complete product system. So here, there are two things. One is, sorry, not two things, three things. One is the agent, which is installed on the Windows computer. Two, there is a cloud service which is available for management and configuration on the internet browser. And three, there is a cloud storage space. So for every enterprise, there is a different cloud storage space. So we have something like for 12 users, it is 4 terabyte. For 20 users, it is 8 terabyte. For 40 users, it is maybe 16 terabyte. For 70 users, it is maybe 24 terabyte. For 100 users, it would be 32 terabyte, and go so on. And you pay as you use, and accordingly your infrastructure is designed on the BLACKbox cloud. So now we will see how it works. So first of all, we will focus on the cloud workspace. So as you subscribe to BLACKbox Cloud, you are allocated the space according to your requirements. So let's say you are a 20 user enterprise, then by default you are given 8 terabyte of space to be used by across your users, out of which 4 terabyte you can use it for your own purpose, for your files, email box, for email backup, file backup, application data backup, whatever. And the rest of the 4 terabyte can be utilized for your backup purpose, backup of the backup purpose. So let's say you will have full-fledged cloud server. So you will have complete management of that 4 terabyte or 8 terabyte you have, and then you can create users, you can create permissions, everything you can do yourself. So permission engine, we will demonstrate it, and it would be pool storage. So it won't be like 30 GB one user has utilized and another user has not utilized 30 GB. Then that rest of the space can be migrated to the other user. It won't be possible. And this entire structure would be divided in primary chamber and hidden chamber concept of BLACKbox. Many of you might know about it. So BLACKbox has a concept of vault workspace, primary chamber and hidden chamber. So when primary chamber is accessible, the hidden chamber is not accessible. And at certain point of time, primary chamber and hidden chamber connect with each other, transfers the data. So in case ransomware attacks, ransomware cannot reach to the hidden chamber. So that part is also inherited by our BLACKbox OneCloud from our BLACKbox One on-premise solution. Then this particular cloud workspace will have very intuitive reports. So it will have a comprehensive backup configuration, which we will see. Like if you want to make it in versions, if you want to make a full backup, you want to make an incremental backup. And there would be a dashboard which will tell you about the status and health of the backup. So now with this particular slide, we will first look at the BLACKbox console. We will look at the permission engine, and we will look at the backup console of the BLACKbox, and then the dashboard. So I request my colleague Rajendra to take us to BLACKbox console first. Yeah, here you can log on. Yeah, just let's show them the console first. So this is accessible on browser. So if you see the same interface you see here, normally our software is installed on our BLACKbox device on premise. This is installed on your cloud, and you can manage mail, internet, everything from here itself. And Rajendra, can we go to the backup, please? So in the backup, there are various options you can configure. You can have cloud server, restore from cloud. You can restore the data from here itself. You can have another cloud backup. Let's say you want to have backup of your cloud. There are a lot of flexibilities which today's service providers don't give. There are backup logs. You can also set up the backup. So can you look at the backups, please? So right now, you see there are 3 backups already done, configured, and they do backup daily. And few backup could be, versioned backup. And here there are 15 versions of the backup which is already set up. So here you can define incremental backup, full backup, versioned backup, and you can also restore your all data from here itself. This is an admin access. Now we will see that entire cloud storage space, how you can manage it. So let's, Rajendra, can we go to the permission engine interface, please? So now we are talking about the first part of it, which is cloud storage workspace. Then we'll see the agent, then we'll see the console. But right now we are focusing on cloud storage. So let's say 4 terabyte is allowed to you, or 8 terabyte is assigned to you. You can manage everything on your own. So you can create the folders, you can give the permissions to the users. So let's say this is the entire cloud space. Can we just click on this? Let's say users data. This is accessible on browser. So your all users, departments, everything you can define over here. And that can be very well, displayed to the users, mounted to the users, which we will see. Right now you focus on this very Windows-like folder structure. You can define which user can access which folder to what extent. Can we show the permission part, please? So here this accounts team, accounts department, it is accessible to accounts executive, accounts manager, and director. And then you can have your own permission engine like accounts executive, or you can have administration permission, read, write permission, everything you can set it here. So you have complete flexibility on your 8 terabyte of the space. It could be your email space, it could be your mailbox space, it could be your file space. You can have a lot of permissions here. It's like you are managing your own file server on premise, but it is on the cloud. It is accessible from anywhere. So this was about the console. This was about how your cloud workspace of 8 terabyte looks like and how you can manage it. And now we will look at the backup reports. So Rajendra, can we log on to the dashboard part? So let's say you have set up multiple backups of your laptop users as well as your servers. You might have on-premise servers also. You can also place those servers on BLACKbox Cloud. So this will be having a comprehensive report. So let's say click on dcdr.v2. Yeah. So here you can see that you can see this report according to the status of the laptop. And can we open, let's say, Ravindra Kumar's backup report? So it happened, I think, it happened at, just at 1 o'clock. So just 2 hours ago, it was successfully done. He has got around a number of files, which are 2,206 files and 679 MB of the data. Last transfer was just 74.82 KB. So this is how you can see, and in case there is any error, this particular cloud server will send you a report that this is where, or this user's backup has some error, and you can take some proactive actions. So this is about the first part, which is about the cloud workspace. You can create a lot of folders, department-wise, user-wise, give the permissions. You can set the backup of the of all the folders the way you want, and you can have reports also. So you are the first person to know if there is no backup. You will not get such unpleasant surprises that when you needed to restore the backup, you found that it was not happening because of some error. And of course, when you are configuring the backups, you can have all kinds of configuration options and flexibilities. Yeah, Rajendra, can you please give back the screen to me? So this is what we have seen about the cloud workspace. Now we will look at the IT policy enforcement part by device hardening. So now I will demonstrate each and every feature, how it is configured on the black box, and how. So the first feature we will see is IT policy enforcement. Okay. So in that, what we do is we withdraw the admin rights from the user. So one agent is installed on user's computer. We withdraw the admin rights first. We can control the USB ports of that particular user's computer from the cloud itself. You can also have application controls. So let's say if you want that user should be accessing Word, Excel, and Tally on his computer, then he can only do that. And that is all enforced from cloud. Then you can have drive allocation for all the users. So let's say you have created an accounts executive user and you want to give him a account department drive you want, or which is created on your cloud workspace, or you want to give him some few more drives of different departments to collaborate with other users. You can very well do that, and we can see how. We'll see that also. Then you can have a local secured drive for offline access. Since it is on cloud, we cannot assume that all the times users will have internet connection. Let's say users wants to work offline, then we can also have a local offline access of folder, which will be backed up automatically to the cloud. We don't have to worry about it, and it will be part of the reports. So what in last part, what we saw for Ravindra's backup, that was of his offline folder, because he has got an offline folder in which he had few thousand files, and those files were backed up, and we were not worried about it. And then forced centralization. Here, as many of you had written in the poll that you have to ask users to save data in enterprise folder. Here you can harden the system such that no force, and I mean it would be user would be forced to save data in the enterprise folder only, nowhere else, and we will see how it works. So this is about the secure device hardening, how we do the device hardening part of it. And then we'll also see the secured access to the cloud drives. So we will see how, normally what happens when we have a Dropbox or something, we have user has to log on, and then his drives are mounted. Here we'll see how automatically the drives are mounted. It is quite progressive, So we'll see how secured access to the cloud drive is given through auto mount permitted cloud drives. We'll see the concept of VPN, blind VPN here in the next part of our technical demo. Then we'll see device-based restrictions to access cloud drives. So if we want to make sure that certain computers can only access certain drives, it is also possible. And we will have exceptional access to cloud drives over browser in case we want to allow them to use the browser for accessing their cloud drives. It will have a risk of data leakage, but in case you want to do it for your top management team members. So now we will go to the console part, and we'll see how this device hardening and mapping of the drives are configured. And then we will see how this mapping of the drives are actually effected in the user's computer with all hardening policies. So we'll see that. I will also show you a few more features, and then we'll move to the actual deployment of the black box. Then we will also see in that part that how, if the user accidentally or intentionally deletes the data, we see the active recycle bin technology of black box also deployed on the cloud. It is already there on premise, and that will be a very simple recovery process we will see. We'll also see how we restore the data from the cloud, and it is very simple. So before we go to the email part, let me demonstrate all these things to you. So Rajendra, can we go to the cloud console first? So now we will first look at device hardening policy. This is on the cloud. One agent will be installed on the user's computer. When we will see that when we log on to the user's computer. Right now we want to make sure that we want to see the device hardening. So we'll take one example of the user. Let's say he has taken account executive as a user example. So here, first thing is that who can access this cloud. So we want that user, let's say we want that user has a computer, and only from that computer your cloud drive should be accessed for data security reasons. Then you can simply select the computer systems, here, who can access the data on the cloud. So this user, if he is on sitting on these computers, and these computers are listed over here because on which the cloud agent is installed. So cloud agent is installed on number of computers. Those number of computers are listed in this particular list. And then we can create the user, and you can bind that user with the computer system so that only on those computer system user can access the cloud drives. So here we can access, we can specify which computer systems users will be accessing. Then we can also define whether user will be the administrator of the system or not. So here we have not tick marked that. So user will not be the administrator of the system. Here we have defined that users will not have access to the local resources of his computer. We don't want him to save the data on his local drives. So that will also be there. We can also define here that whether USB port will be allowed on user's computer or not. So here right now we have blocked read and write of the USB port. We can also have allow USB port for dongles or for some HASP licensed dongles or digital signatures. But we can block the user so that user can take the data on the digital signature memory space. So it is only inward only kind of access you can define, or you can define outward access also. And in that outward access, you can define the email ID on which the email would be, the report would be sent. So this is something where you are defining the hardening through withdrawing the admin rights, withdrawing the access to the local resources, defining the access to the USB ports. Then we can see whether this user can access certain applications or not. So we can go to view rights, and then whatever number of computers are selected for this particular user, in this case it is account executive PC and another account something PC. So we have given him access to those two PCs. Whatever applications are installed on this computers will be listed here, and you can tick mark them and allow only those computers applications. So in case there are 10 applications installed on the computer, but you want him to access only 3 applications, Word, Excel, and Tally, then he will be able to access only those applications. So this is how we can do the device hardening. Then we can define whether this user can access VPN or not. So here, if we want user to access VPN, then you can set up the VPN over here itself. You don't need to give the server IP, username, and password to the user, and you don't need to train the user how to connect the VPN. As soon as the user logs on to the system, this VPN settings will be extended to his system, and user with a click of the button, he can access the VPN. And you don't have to take the risk of providing those credentials to the users, which users might share it with competitors, and competitors then can access your VPN data. So it is very, very important, and that's why we call it as a blind VPN. User does not know what is there in the VPN, which server, which users, which passwords, whatever. Then we can define which drives will be mounted, which cloud drives will be mounted when user logs in. So in this case, we have mounted is personal drive, common drive, accounts drive. Whichever drives we have created on the permission engine, we can mount any drive among those drives. And you can define which drives you would mount when user logs in. So this is how you have hardened user's computer system, and this is how you have made sure that user will have access to certain data only, and that data will be automatically available to the user system. So now we will log on to an user system. Yeah, Rajendra, can we log on to an account manager system, please? So now we are logging on to the user's computer system. This could be a laptop, this could be a desktop. So first we'll see whether agent is installed on the computer or not. So agent is installed on the computer. You can see this B. Now we will see whether he has admin access or not, because we have removed the admin access. So we'll go to the control panel, administrative tools, and there is nothing there. So he is not having any admin rights. Then we will see whether this is what kind of system or what kind of data user has access to. So we'll go to his this PC. Here you see there is one professional.am. This is an offline folder which is there on the user's computer, which he can use when he's not connected to internet or he's not connected to the cloud. So you can very well work on this particular folder, and this particular folder will be automatically backed up, which we saw in the dashboard also. And there is one another folder called dashboard downloads. So we'll tell you what is the purpose of that folder later when we see the internet part. So here there is one folder which is available. Now let's say he wants to access the cloud drives. How will he? So then he has two options. One, he can go to the BLACKbox agent, right click on that, go to VPN. I'm sorry, click on the cloud drive. Sorry. There are two ways. One is cloud drive. So as soon as he logs on to cloud drive, whatever cloud drives are accessible to him will be made available to him. So here, if you see, all the cloud drives will be loaded over here. All the cloud drives are loaded over here. And he is able to very easily work on it. Am I audible? Can you please confirm? I think there is some issue on my computer system. So I would like to...
We can hear you clearly, sir, but I think there's some issue with the video.
Yeah, I think I thought so. Let me stop the video. Am I audible right now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. But I think I need to log out and log in again because I'm not able to operate on my presentation. So please pardon me for that. Just give me a moment to get in the system again. I think I have some issue with my video. I'm just logging out. I'm sorry for this interruption, but it was unavoidable. Something went wrong on my computer and it did not respond to my camera. So better I keep this camera off while the demonstration is going on. So basically what we are seeing here is these cloud drives are loaded automatically, and these cloud drives are the ones which we have configured in the console. So for the account manager, we have given him cloud drive of department taxation, which he shares with other team members in the same department. Then department payroll, department MIS, department GST, something like that. Another way is to use blind VPN. Can we close this, Rajendra? Yeah. Just log on to blind VPN. Just click here, right click, VPN. So the VPN, he will just have to click, nothing he has to enter, username, password, nothing. And this cloud is available on VPN. So you have your own static IP and you have your own, if you want, you can install your own VPN certificate also, which is not available on most of the cloud service providers, basically. So as soon as the VPN is connected, the cloud drives would be loaded. Yeah, did you disconnect it? So one way is to access the drive over the cloud, and see here, as soon as the VPN is connected, all the departments are also connected. And now user has offline folder as well as online cloud folder, and he can work smoothly on that. Whatever he stores in offline folder, we don't have to worry about the data loss because it is automatically backed up. So now we are seeing that he does not have access to the local resources. Let's try it. Just try to save something on the desktop, please. So he is not allowed to save it on. Just try to save it something on the my documents. He doesn't have access to that. So this is something which is hardening the computer system very seamlessly, giving him the access of the data, and he can save the data only either on the cloud drive or all the local folder he is given an access to actually. So you don't have to request the users to save data in the local folder dedicated for your company. He will be forced to save it, or he will be forced to save the data on the cloud. In case he doesn't have an internet connectivity, he will be saving it in his own computer on that particular folder, which is automatically being backed up. So now we will try to delete some data. Yeah, Rajendra, can we go to a user and delete some data from the cloud drive? So now let's say user accidentally or intentionally deletes all the data. Shift plus delete. He has deleted all the data, for example, which is being collaborated with other users. How you recover that data? So you can very easily do it you can log on to your cloud console. Log on to your cloud console. There is a user dedicated for that. That is called recycle.bean user. Please remember we had done shift delete. So it would not have gone into users Windows computer systems recycle bin. So as soon as we log on to the recycle bin, it will, we can see this user data. We can go to recycle bin and we can identify from which folder it was deleted. It was deleted from accounts department shared folder. We can select all those files. We can cut it and we can simply paste it. And this is happening on the cloud. Paste it. And all the data would be easily recovered. Can you go to the console, please? Yeah, here you have recovery data also. We want to now find out who has deleted it. Let's say you have shared that particular folder with 10 users. You want to see who has deleted it. Then you can go to event as delete. There's a file operation log for your all cloud users activity. View it. See now account manager deleted it at 4 hour and 2 minutes. And that is how you can define, this is an evidence that he has deleted it. In case he has done intentionally, you can very well take the actions. Can we go to the console again? We want to go to the backup part. And in case you want to restore some data which you don't know when it happened, you can go to the backup, and there is a complete restore interface also. Can you go to backup, please? Where you can have a restore from cloud, and then you can just load the backup, and then let's say a lot of whatever backup jobs you have given for the cloud, you can see this. Let's say go to Ravindra Kumar, or yeah, you can go to that, and then you can load it, and then you can restore it. Very simple. So this can also be done from the cloud backup. You can restore in case you don't know when it was deleted. So this is something which is about the restoration of the files from the backup. It is very easy. So now you have all the data restorable here. You can select whatever data you want to restore, you can restore. And in case you have stored it in the versions, you can very well define which version you want to restore. So it is very, very seamless. Yeah, Rajendra, can you give back the screen? Yeah. Now we'll see a few more features of this particular BLACKbox OneCloud. I will share my presentation. So we were here. Because I restarted my computer, I have lost the current slide. So we will go to, so we are here. Then we saw this recovery of the accidental and deletion. Now it is about emails. It is very important. See, you can have your email. So BLACKbox OneCloud gives you an email distribution server. So it has very, very precise 3 advantages. The first advantage is that in case you have taken Google service, you can actually have your mailbox on your BLACKbox cloud. So you don't have to pay for so much of space on Google service. So for such requirements, there is a solution. So let's say you have 8 terabyte of space on BLACKbox cloud, and you want to use that 8 terabyte of the space for your users email box also. Then you can take Google's DNS split. I mean, you can take the Google service and use DNS splitter service of BLACKbox cloud. So that will actually utilize your BLACKbox cloud for your Google or O365 mailboxes. So you don't have to really, you will not get that particular storage exhausted. Second advantage is because it's an email distribution server, you can define n number of vigilance policies to check the data leakage part of it. And third advantage is you can also take the backup of the mailboxes, so that in case a user quits the company and another user takes over, then you can give all his emails to him by restoring it from the backup. There is all possibility that user might have deleted all his emails before leaving the company. So we'll see how it works. So it will be an email policy. You can have all kind of email policies, and you can have an email shadow backup also. So as I have explained, what advantage of this cloud would be is it is having email distribution server. You can actually have mailboxes on your BLACKbox. It will have email policy, and it will have complete email policy whatever way you want. You can have approval based email system. You can have local only email sending rights. You can have whitelisting or blacklisting of recipient domain. You can have attachment control user wise. You can have BCC intercept and policies user wise. You can have copy to supervisor as a policy also. So all these things we'll see how we configure. And we'll also see what another feature which we are going to see now is zero trust. Similarly to mail, internet can also become an avenue for data leakage, but users would require it for business development. So you cannot just point blank say that I will not access the internet. I'll not allow the access of internet to the users. So here, what we have done is Blackbox can enable the enterprise to have its own number of websites which it would like to allow it to the users, and users will have a right to demand the internet access. User will have a right to demand the internet access, basically, and he will, when he is accessing the internet for business development or for research, where you do not allow any restrictions, or he would not want any restriction on his internet access, his data will be automatically isolated. We'll see this also. And then we will see some other features like dual profiling. I will explain that. Then we'll see the application virtualization also on the technology side. And then we'll see the of productivity monitoring also. So Rajendra, can we start with email system, email server, please? So here, what we have done is, this particular user's mailbox is on Google, and we are using the Google's email recipient and SMTP service, but actual mailbox emails are stored on our cloud. So he doesn't have a limitation of 30 GB mailbox or 2 terabyte of mailbox. He can save all the mails on the Blackbox cloud. Along with that, he can also define the policies. So here, if you see that you can have a defined policy that you want vigilance by incoming mails, then you can define incoming or outgoing or both mails. So you can vigil the user. You can have send report in case you want that email activity report to be sent to the supervisor. You can also have it. You can also define that this user can send emails only to the local users, or you can send emails to comma separated list of emails, or you can send emails to any domain, or this particular user cannot send emails to certain email recipients, or whenever this email sends an email, it will go to the moderator, and then moderator will decide whether this email will be approved or not for further delivery. You can define the BCC, blind carbon copy here, whether this user can send the blind carbon copy or not. You can also have complete control on your attachments. So you can have attachment restrictions. User can send certain extensions of attachment, certain size of attachment, or cannot certain size of attachment, something like that. You can also have restrictions of incoming attachments in case you want that your user should not be receiving email with exe attachment or with certain attachment which are hazardous. You can very well define that. Along with that, Blackbox Cloud will take the backup of your mailbox also, which you can restore it. So can we go to the restore part? You can select the mailbox of any user, and then you can load the backup. Let's say we want to load the backup of this particular user. You can see this 69 emails are already there, and then you can restore it also. So it is very easy, and you can have complete mail system. You don't have to really pay a lot of money for the email box space. You can utilize this cloud, as an email box space also. So this was about the email part. Now we'll look at the internet part. So let's go to the internet. So here you can define that as an enterprise, your users would be entitled for certain websites like banking website or GST website. So you can list those websites here. We call it as minimum allowed website list. And those users can only access those websites, whether they are in your firewall network or they are working from home, or they are accessing the emails, or sorry, accessing the internet from airport, whatever, these restrictions will apply by the agent. Now we will understand a situation. Yeah, can we go to the user's computer in order to understand this? So let's say we are logging in as a user And this particular user, yeah, he's loaded with the BLACKbox agent. He's not the admin of the system. We'll verify. Now we'll see what access he has on the data part. So he has access to all his cloud drive already accessed. Now let's see what he access he has on internet. Please open dropbox.com. It is not open. Please open hdfcbank.com, which was part of the allowed websites. It will open. So this is the restrictions we have applied for a DLP and data integrity. But there is an exception. Every user will require to do some research for business development or something else, and he cannot sustain his job with this kind of basically restrictions. Sometimes he requires full internet access to do his job. Now, as an enterprise, you are worried that if you give him full internet access, he will pass time, he will leak the data and all that. So this particular system has a different perspective to it. So whenever user requires an access of the website, which is not allowed to him by the organization, he can go to the BLACKbox agent, right click on that and click on happy hours. So this is on-demand internet. So on-demand internet will give him unrestricted internet. Now let's say what access he has on the internet. So he has activated on-demand internet, which is happy hours. Now go to Dropbox. See, now the Dropbox will open because now all the restrictions are removed and it is removed on demand by the user. Now go to the data part. So now organization would be worried, what if he uploads all the data from the Dropbox. So now we'll go to so here you see all the data is unmounted. All the cloud drives are unmounted, completely unmounted. So he cannot pick up anything and upload anything to the internet. Now let's say his research work or business development work is over. He can check out of that happy hours, which is on-demand internet. So he will now surrender his on-demand internet. So all the restrictions will apply. And same, now all the drives will be mounted and he will not be able to access unrestricted internet. Now let's try to open dropbox.com. It will not be. Now let's see what data he is accessible to. So he has got all these cloud drives loaded along with the download. So let's say he has downloaded anything from his on-demand internet, he would have got it for his professional use. So this is how you are having complete DLP, zero trust DLP strategy on internet. Now I will talk about the dual profile one. Sometimes you have a requirement. Please keep that on. We want to show the BLACKbox AAA also. So why don't you log on to account manager? So in dual profile, what happens when user logs in, he will be asked which profile he wants to log in. If he wants to log in to the enterprise profile, all these policies will apply. If he logs on to his personal profile, all the policies will not apply. Only policy which will apply will be the user will not be the admin of the system and he will not have access to the enterprise data lying on that particular computer. So that is called dual profiling. So in case you are allowing your users to use their personal computers, own computers, you can have dual profiling so that they can freely use their computer for personal purpose and your data is secured in the enterprise profile and it is only backed up. So you don't end up backing up users' personal data also. So this was about the dual profiling. Now last two things. One is how you allow access to your legacy applications on BLACKbox Cloud. You have an option to host your servers on BLACKbox Cloud. In case you want to host your servers on premise and you want your users to access it remotely, your applications remotely, it is also possible. So that is called BLACKbox AAA. So that agent is already there. You can double click on BLACKbox AAA. So as soon as you double click on BLACKbox AAA, it will virtualize those applications which you have allowed to the users. Here in this case, we have allowed some HRMS and Tally. Here it will be loaded. Now you have Tally Prime completely loaded. Then HRMS you can load again. So this is Tally. User can access the Tally. The Tally is not installed on this user's computer. It is through application virtualization. So you can have your cloud server, you can have your server hosted on BLACKbox Cloud, or you can have your servers on your premise on static IP, and this agent will connect to those servers. So this is BLACKbox AAA, access application anywhere, where you can also define. So what we have seen is, we have seen email data, how you manage it on the BLACKbox Cloud. We have seen file data, how you manage it on the BLACKbox Cloud. And now you are seeing how you manage your applications and access of applications to the remote users on the cloud. So this is very important. Here in this case, you can also define that this particular BLACKbox AAA will be accessible on specific computer system only. So it won't be like, you're using a CRM and user can access it from anywhere, and your computers can also access your CRM if they have the password. It won't be. They will be able to access on the hardened system only, nowhere else. So this is another point. And the last point is productivity monitoring, where there is something called PBO. So the agent will take the screenshot of every user's computer and upload it on the BLACKbox Cloud, and then you can play it back. So let's say if you want to see this, what was this guy doing, account manager or account executive, whoever. So here you can see this. We did not operate on this account executive, so only we logged on for some time, and that's why there is no activity. You can see some other users system. So in this, we were seeing some certain things which were accessible, and that is how the screens are also captured. So these are good evidence logs, as well as good way of monitoring. And there are always a lot of features added. So after some time, you'll get some features also, right? What applications he has used for how long, and all these things will be added. So this is a completely ongoing process. So this is about BLACKbox OneCloud, and now let me get back to you. Let me get back to my presentation, last slide, and then we will go to the question answer session. So all essential cloud services to take on take your business on cloud is BLACKbox OneCloud. It includes enterprise cloud storage space, 8 terabyte, 16 terabyte, whatever you want. Then it has completely IT policy enforcement. You can have your cloud files, folder permission, complete full-fledged file server. You have data recovery tools from accidental and intentional deletion. We saw it. You can have data recovery plan after ransomware attack, as I have explained, primary chamber and hidden chamber part. You can have cloud backup and reporting. We have seen the reporting also. You have a prevention of data leakage over USB. In the hardening itself, you can control the USB ports. Prevention of data leakage over email. We have seen how email systems can be under your policies. Then prevention of data leakage over internet. We have seen it, how happy hours can make sure that data is isolated when user has access to unrestricted internet. BYOD solution I explained. You can have two different profiles, and one profile is for personal work, another for work. Then remote application access. We have just seen how Teleprime and that HRMS was accessible. And productivity monitoring, in which we could see how screenshots could be accessible. So this is all about BLACKbox OneCloud, and I would invite everyone for question answers. We can take some few minutes for question answers. You can type your questions. I will answer them live. Yeah, so Mr. Shukla is asking, can we connect to on-premise Active Directory for authentication. You don't need to do this because BLACKbox has its own user directory. So whatever users are created on your Active Directory needs to be created again on the BLACKbox. On-premise Active Directory for authentication won't be possible because many a times Active Directory is not available for authentication because of some internet problems on-premise. So you cannot connect on-premise Active Directory for authentication. Uninstallation of agent is restricted. Yes, uninstallation of the agent is restricted because user is not the admin of the system. We withdraw the admin rights. So only the admin can uninstall the agent. Durgesh has asked in the chat that any way we can connect our server storage with your console. See, for that purpose, you don't need BLACKbox OneCloud. There is one product called Device Hardening Software Solution, which is just a software solution and which connects to your server storage. So you can have it if you want. This particular demonstration is for OneCloud. So it is connecting to our cloud. Is SSL version 2 supported on mail? Yes, mails are on SSL and mails are on SSLs, and your host would be either G Suite or Google Workspace Now or O365. So I have answered Mr. Praveen's question also. Now, Mr. Shukla, how much approximately time it will take once we update any policy from restricted to unrestricted for a while in any feature? I think it takes 3 to 4 minutes. But it is required that user should be online when you change the policy. Yeah, any more questions? Yeah, Prasanna, we can conclude the session. In case you have any further questions, you can please mail it to Prasanna. We will be happy to answer. Yeah, Prasanna, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for such an interactive and...
One moment, Prasanna.
Yes,
is
yes.
hardware support with external storage? Mr. Praveen, this particular demonstration was for BLACKbox Cloud. BLACKbox Cloud, there are 3 products. One is BLACKbox On-Premise, which is a BLACKbox hardware which has its own storage. Another is BLACKbox Cloud, in which your storage would be on the cloud. And third one is BLACKbox Software only, which is DHSS product, Device Hardening Software Solution, which can be connected with your external storage if you want. So there are 3 different products, basically. You can connect with Prasanna for very specific questions. Yeah, Prasanna, sorry, I interrupted. Prasanna, please conclude.
Yes, sir. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Thank you, sir, for such an interactive and insightful session. Please fill the survey form, which you will get at the end of this session to give your valuable feedback. Now I would request Sudhir, sir, to give us the concluding remark for this session.
Yeah, Vishalji, thank you for this session. You have brought Sinnersoft in the league of cloud business, and as commercial person, I would be delighted that I have one more product and service to compete into the market. And thank you all the participants who gave their valuable time and their question answers. We would like more queries and questions from you. You can connect to the local people who are in touch with you, local sales team, or you can send us your inquiries, any questions to Prasanna or directly to us. We will be happy to assist you. Thank you once again for spending time with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.